Yes. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get a party started. Ladies and gentlemen, I know everybody's excited to see a lot of friends and colleagues, but if you could, we'd like to have everybody come into the room and take their seats. This evening, the Taiko Center of the Pacific would like to do a very special performance for you. Ero Kotobuki Jishi, the traditional lion dance from Old Tokyo, is performed on auspicious occasions to beckon good luck and good fortune. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, Taiko Center of the Pacific with Ero Kotobuki Jishi. Thank you once again to the Takei Center of the Pacific. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please take your seats.
O nauna I ka hala me ka lehua E halele hua no ia na ka no e O ka uno ia a e ano I nei E li ane hoi o ka hiki mai A hiki mai no o kou A hiki pu no me ke aloha Aloha e Aloha e Aloha e Uhoa ia ka makalo ala Pua I ke aloha la Kuka ia ka halo ala Pawehi mai nā lehua Mai ka ho'oku ia ka halawaila Mahalo e ke akua Mahalo e nā kupuna la ea Mahalo me ke aloha la Mahalo me ke aloha la Aloha e, aloha e, aloha e Aloha ahi ahi kako, aloha I'm going to ask for just a second, will you grab pinkies with the person that is seated next to you? Yes, you are connected now. As you're holding pinkies, whoever pulls the hardest gets to pay the bill. All right, that was a joke. It's already paid for. As you are holding your pinkies, I'm going to give us a wonderful blessing to begin that spirit of sharing our aloha this evening. So will you look at the person seated right across from you as you're holding pinkies with the person seated next to you. You make eye contact. Mahalo ke akua me ke aloha pumehana. E malama ho'o mai ka hakuioe he malumau. Ke akua as we are sharing the spirit of aloha this evening for our Japanese Cultural Center. We ask your aloha spirit to be pono with all that we do, from our taiko drums to our honorees to one another. We pule with much aloha. Amene no kia kua pau. Amene, amene, amene. Would you give a high five to the person that you're holding pinkies with? And we are ready to begin.
Thank you, Kahu Cordell Kakoa, for the oli and the show. And thank you, Kenny Endo and the Taiko Center of the Pacific for opening this grand evening. Good evening. I am Christine Kubota, Chair of the Japanese Culture Center of Hawaii Board of Directors. Welcome to the 2018 Spirit of Aloha Gala. Aloha! I have been asked to open this year's gala. Carol only gave me 4 minutes. Tonight is a special evening as we celebrate the Spirit of Aloha honorees in this 150th anniversary of the Gannen Mono Year. In 2018, we celebrate the first arrival of the Japanese immigrants to Hawaii 150 years ago. JCCH, together with 20 other nonprofit Japanese American organizations, recently organized and produced the Gannen Mono Symposium, to which the Imperial Highnesses, Prince and Princess Akishino attended. The 17-minute video shown at the symposium that summarized the history of the Gannemono was produced by none other than our own Carol Hayashino, and it was so well done that the princess specifically requested for a copy. The honorees for this year's gala represent the spirit and values of the Gannemono and those others that have come before us, those who have led us to become who we are today. What better way to honor our history, heritage, and aloha spirit? Tonight, we honor the Nisei Veterans Legacy, the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center, the Go for Broke National Education Center, the Onizuka Memorial Committee. We also honor the work and leadership of my heroes, George Takei, Donna Tanoue, and Jake Shimabukuro. And that's American style. It's Takei-san, Tanoue-san, and Shimabukuro-san. 150 years is such a short period of time, but in such a short span of time, Japanese Americans have accomplished so much. Tonight, we present you with the stars. Just like the Gannemono, I too embarked on a journey from Yokohama, Japan, almost 40 years ago and made Hawaii home. It is the people, place, and aloha spirit that Governor Ige often talks about that is exactly the reason why the Gannemono, as I, appreciate Hawaii and what it offers to all. I am personally passionate about the Hawaii-Japan relationship, and I thank JCCH for allowing me to learn and share one of the most important components of this relationship. My father, my grandmother, and my grandfather's story of the Japanese experience in Hawaii. It has been an honor and pleasure to serve as the chair of the Japanese Culture Center of Hawaii for 2 years. I am grateful for the time I was able to learn from the volunteers and staff, and I truly thank them for all they do for the center. Without your passion and dedication, the center would not be the same. The 2 years went by quickly. That's because I'm standing here and I'm almost pow. And although filled with trials and tribulations, I now know more about AC chillers, hazardous waste removal, cellular antennas, air washing walls. It was also filled with joy and accomplishment. Again, I wish to commend the staff and volunteers, and I wish to thank my fellow board members and the many sponsors and friends of the center for supporting our cause. At this time, I would like to introduce all of the Board of Governors and Board of Directors of the Japanese Culture Center, and if I may, please ask all of you to stand and be recognized. Board of Governors and Board of Directors, please stand. Come on, guys, please stand and be recognized. Mitch, you have to stand. I take this opportunity to plead to them, the Board of Governors and the Board of Directors, and also to the many guests tonight to continue to support us so that we can continue to share the many stories we have to tell into perpetuity. I hope each one of us can continue to be cheerleaders for the team at JCCH. Before I introduce our MC for this evening, I would like to thank one more star as part of my opening for the evening. She too is a representative of all the important kachikan or values that JCCH shares as a legacy to the community. Carol Hayashino works hard, leads hard, and although a bit bossy, has propelled the Japanese Culture Center to a new level, and tonight is a wonderful reflection of that. A new record, sold-out gala of over 750 guests. Woo! I also would like to thank her family, her husband Kyle, her daughter Allie, her grandson Kanoa, who are here tonight for sharing Carol's time with the Culture Center. Thank you. Thank you, Carol, for making my 2 years at JCCH fun and meaningful. Good job, and I love you very much. I was going to get her a crown, but I don't want to give up my queenship. So what I did was I made her a sash. So I'm going to give this to her instead of a crown because I still want to be queen. And now I have the pleasure to introduce Steve Uehara, a familiar face to those of you early risers, not me, sorry, Steve. He is the co-host of Sunrise on Hawaii News Now. He is an Emmy Award-winning journalist, recipient of the Edward R. Murrow and Mark Twain Award, and longtime friend and member of JCCH. Please welcome Steve Uehara, and thank you all.
Thank you, Christine. By the way, it's okay if you don't watch. We'll just lock pinkies later, and we'll connect like that. All right. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Steve Uehara. I am honored to be back to serve as MC for the 2018 Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii Sharing the Spirit of Aloha Gala. It's awesome. So every year we come out, we have a great time. It's a spectacular event. But I got to tell you, this year, everything has gone up a notch. It is going to blow your mind. We got some great performances. You're going to have a good time, okay? This year, we also commemorating the 150th anniversary of Ganen Mono, the arrival of the first immigrants from Japan to Hawaii. The 2018 honorees reflect the spirit of Ganen Mono, and through their work, have continued the great legacy of the Nisei. Our distinguished 2018 honorees, this list is amazing. They are Nisei Veterans Legacy, Nisei Veterans Memorial Committee, Go for Broke National Education Center, Onizuka Memorial Committee, Donna Tanoue, Jake Shimabukuro, and George Takei. How about a round of applause for them? Now, before we pay tribute to our honorees, all proceeds from tonight's event support the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii's educational programs, cultural programs, and historic preservation efforts. On behalf of the Japanese Cultural Center, thank you, all of you, for investing in JCCH's future. Tonight, the ballroom is filled with family and friends of the honorees and JCCH. Bear with me, okay? I got a lot of names to get through because we want to make sure we thank everybody responsible for this. Let's start with the introductions with the guests seated at the head table, right over here. We have the recipients of the 2018 Spirit of Aloha Awards, Wes Deguchi and Barbara Tanabe, representing the Nisei Veterans Legacy. Deidre Teagarden and Brian Moto, representing the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center. Dr. Mitchell Maki and Stephen Kagawa of the Go for Broke National Education Center. Mr. Claude Onizuka of the Onizuka Memorial Committee. Ms. Donna Tanoue with her husband, Mayor Kirk Caldwell. Jake Shimabukuro and Kelly Shimabukuro. George Takei and Brad Takei. The Governor of Hawaii, the Honorable David Ige. Lieutenant Governor Doug Chin. U.S. Senator, the Honorable Brian Schatz. Former Governor George Ariyoshi and Jean Ariyoshi. Former Governor John Waihe'e. Consul General of Japan, the Honorable Koichi Ito and Mrs. Masako Ito. We also have our own JCCH leaders at the head table. JCCH President and Executive Director, Carol Hayashino, with her husband, Kyle Tatsumoto. Along with JCCH Board Chair Christine Kubota and her husband, Sadao Takahashi. We'd also like to honor and acknowledge some of the special guests in the audience this evening. U.S. Congresswoman Colleen Hanabusa, representing U.S. Senator Mazie Hirono, Alan Yamamoto, Hawaii State Senator Jill Tokuda, Hawaii Speaker of the House Scott Saiki, Hawaii State Representative Bert Kobayashi, Honorary Consul General of Japan Art Taniguchi, Kahu Cordell Kekoa, General David Bramlett, Major General Robert Lee, Miss Hawaii 2017 Catherine Teruya, 2018 Cherry Blossom Queen Melanie Carey, Chairman of the Board of the Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce Brian Nishida, Chairman of the Board Japan America Society of Hawaii Sal Miwa, Karen Korematsu from the Fred Korematsu Institute, Laura Mello from Hawaii 5-0, Dennis Chun from Hawaii 5-0, Arnold Hiura from the Hawaii Japanese Center, Courtney Takara from the Hawaii United Okinawa Association, Council Member Ikaika Anderson, Council Member Ann Kobayashi, Council Member Trevor Ozawa, Wayne Miao from the Honolulu Hiroshima Kenjinkai, George Takase from the Honolulu Japanese Junior Chamber of Commerce, Sean O'Hara from the Honolulu Museum of Art, Bishop Eric Matsumoto from the Honpa Honganji Mission of Hawaii, Teresa Ono from the Japanese Cultural and Community Center of Northern California, Walter Kunitake from the Kona Japanese Civic Association, Lawrence Enomoto from the Military Intelligence Service, Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce President Wayne Ishihara, Japan America Society of Hawaii President Reina Kaneko, Wendy Abe from the U.S.-Japan Council, Sheree Tamura from the United Japanese Society of Hawaii. Thank you for joining us this evening. Yes! Yes! Woo! Okay, but now I got the sponsors. We got the sponsors. Okay? Wait, I told you, bear with me. So on behalf of the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii, I want to acknowledge tonight's Shogun sponsors for the evening. First Hawaiian Bank, the Hilo Boys, AIO and Big Island Candies, Edward Enterprises, RM Towel, Territorial Savings, Yonotan Hawaii, and the Kobayashi Group, McNaughton Group, and Black Sand Capital. So thank you for your support. Now the Daimyo sponsors. Oh, this is important. Okay, Alexander and Baldwin, Allied Builders System, Roberts Hawaii, American Savings Bank, Donna Oronaka Walden, Enterprise Holdings, First Insurance Company of Hawaii, Greg Yamanaka and Dexter Kubota, Dexter Sugita Angora, Monsanto Hawaii, Onizuka Memorial Committee, PVT Land Company, Donna Tanoue and Kirk Caldwell, Taiji and Naoko Terasaki Family Foundation, Teruya Brothers, Tri-Ice CBRE, Wilson Okamoto Corporation. And to all of our sponsors, a big mahalo this evening. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for all of your support and your contributions. Okay, at this time, we would like to welcome Consul General of Japan, Mr. Koichi Ito, to the stage.
Governor Ige, Senator Schatz, Congressman Hanabusa, former Governor Ariyoshi, and Mayor Caldwell, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and aloha. My wife Misako and I are so happy to be here with all of you at this year's Sharing the Spirit of Aloha Gala. I know that they will be recognized and honored a bit later, but I'd like to offer my congratulations in advance to our honorees for this evening, the Go for Broke National Education Center, Nisei Veterans Legacy and the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center, the Ellison Onizuka Memorial Committee, Ms. Donna Tanoue-san, Ms. Jake Shimabukuro-san, and Mr. George Takei-san. These individuals and organizations were selected for their spirit of gambaru, a term familiar to many Japanese Americans today, that embraces the important values of working hard and striving to overcome hardships through diligence, inner strength, and integrity, which the Issei passed on to their children for decades upon decades. As you know, we are in the midst of celebrating a historic milestone, the 150th anniversary of the arrival of the first Japanese immigrants to Hawaii, or the Gannen Mono. To be honored this evening, therefore, holds many, many layers of significance and meaning. The honorees' dedication and collective contributions to community service, to historic preservation, to the arts and culture, to the education of our keiki, and to the strengthening of the relationship between Hawaii and Japan at the grassroots level, have worked toward building a solid foundation for the local community and Hawaii's future. To all the honorees, please continue to serve as an inspiration to all of us and our younger generations. Thank you for your kind attention. Mahalo, arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Consul General. And to provide us with words of gratitude, please welcome Bishop Eric Matsumoto of Honpa Hongaji Mission of Hawaii.
Good evening. Before I begin, I'd like to say that I am humbled and honored to be able to share words of reflection and of gratitude tonight. In the presence of immeasurable life and infinite light, Amida, all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion. As we gather for this year's Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii's Sharing the Spirit of Aloha in this auspicious, as mentioned, 150th anniversary year of the arrival of the first Japanese Gannemono to Hawaii. May the Buddha's light of wisdom and compassion illumine our hearts and minds, our kokoro, so we may become open to wider horizons and deeper perspectives and reach out to others with kindness and compassion in both our daily and global endeavors. May we, as we would say in Hawaii, embrace and make manifest the spirit of aloha and share that aloha with the rest of the world, which perhaps is Hawaii's most valued gift to the world. The sharing of aloha is our grateful response. In the Pali language, gratitude is defined as to know what has been done. At the entrance to the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii's Okage-sama De exhibit, on one of the stone pillars is carved the value Om, or depth of gratitude, with the explanation, quote, being indebted to someone for their kindness, favor, care, and help. It is a depth of gratitude that is lifelong, end quote. In the Honganji Buddhist tradition, it is explained as gratitude that is our personal sense of appreciation and our response to that appreciation by trying to live in the best, most positive way we can. The common thread tonight, I believe, is gratitude. Tonight, we express our gratitude to our pioneers, the Gannen Mono, and the subsequent immigrants who came before us creating the foundation on which we proudly stand today, and our honorees tonight who have contributed to the betterment of not only the Japanese American community, but the world community with their loyalty and courage, their talent and skills, their perseverance and dreams, their leadership and generosity, and their bravery and commitment. The reality of interdependence, how all things and all people are interconnected and interrelated, is very evident. In that spirit of awareness, before we eat tonight, may we also express our appreciation to and for the food we're about to enjoy. Please join me in a gesture of reverence and respect of your choosing, which in the Buddhist tradition is Anjali or Gassho, with palms together. Tonight, we express our gratitude to the plants and animals for their gift of life to all of nature. And as we do, may we, with the nourishment received from the food, fully and unselfishly live a life in which benefits both self and others, with world peace, harmony, and the well-being of all people of all lands in mind. We express our awareness and humble gratitude to the precious food before us by repeating the Japanese phrase, itadakimasu, which means, I humbly and gratefully receive this food. If you would please join me. Itadakimasu. Nama. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop Matsumoto. And now dinner service begins. As you can see, you got some great Hawaiian food, so please enjoy that. During dinner, we have a special musical performance. Please enjoy the tantalizing sounds from Kaniela Nakashima and Brian Chang.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Oh yes, you're lovely with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows, tearing my fears apart. And that laugh that wrinkles your nose touches my foolish heart. Lovely, never ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you and the way you look tonight. Sax solo. And the way you look, oh, and the way you look, oh, and the way you look tonight. Here we go. The way you look tonight. Welcome, everyone. At this time, I'd like to call up my partner, Kaniela, to join me. My name's Brian Chang. Here comes Kaniela Nakashima. That last song was called The Way You Look Tonight, 1936, written by Jerome Kern and Dorothy Fields.
Everybody welcome. Food looks really good. Song called E Piri Mai. Come to me, oh sweet love of mine. Sweetheart mine, e pini mai, ina o e a o bao, ike ahi o makana, e makana ya, a te aroha. Nona kaua kau, oh wea oh sweetheart mine, e pini mai. Sweetheart mine, e pini mai, ina o e a o vau, ike ahi o makana, e makana ia, ake aloha. Nona kaua kau, oh wea oh sweetheart mine, e pini mai. Nona kaua kau, oh wea oh sweetheart mine, e song was made famous by the great Israel Kamakawiwo Ole. A song that tells a story of when God's roamed these lands. This is Maui, Hawaiian Superman.
Old home is the tale of the mischievous one who fished out all the islands and captured the sun. His deeds in Takei will unmask so that you'll understand that before there was a Clark and there was a Hawaiian Superman. He fished out the ends with the magic hook. There would have been more somebody look. The blue morning sky, sunny and twine. Slow down his lights, a cup of good dry. Yeah. This marvelous magical Maui, hero of this land. The one, the only, the ultimate Hawaiian Superman. Maui, 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 Hawaiian Superman. Maui, 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 Hawaiian Superman. Secret of fire was lost somewhere in time. So when he died in the hale cooking nowhere to be in night. So off he goes in search of those who hold the information. So fire couldn't be used by all the future generation. He found that a lie at the fire connection. But he planned on deception, version of perfection. No other choice he had to get me. So each killer lies thrown until she screamed the secret. This mother, this magical Maui, hero of this land. The one, the only, the ultimate Hawaiian Superman. Maui, 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 Hawaiian Superman. Maui, Maui, oh Maui, Hawaiian Superman. Take it.
Hope you're all having a great time out there. We had a great time singing for you and playing for you. Drink up, folks. George Takei will be coming up shortly.
All right.
This one goes out to all of you. Written by George David Weiss and Bob Thiel.
1967. Mahalo, everybody.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed days and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying aloha to you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, go aloha to you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Ba-ba-do-ba-ba-do-da. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. A wonderful world. What a wonderful world. Mahalo. Have a great evening, folks.
Tanoue aloha. No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause for Kaniela Nakashima and Brian Chang? Smooth, guys, smooth. That was awesome. We also want to say a big mahalo to Susan Smith and Mark Gonzalez and the staff here at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. Thank you, guys. At this time, we'd like to commemorate a very important anniversary. On June 19th, 1868, the first group of Japanese immigrants arrived here in Hawaii. Their group consisted of about 150 people. Today, we refer to those immigrants as Ganen Mono, which means the people of the founding first year. They had been recruited to work in the Kingdom of Hawaii from the Yokohama Edo, also now known as the Tokyo area, signing 3-year contracts for a monthly wage of $4. $4 a month they made. Their story is an interesting and compelling one, full of surprises, hardships, and also joys, but above all, a story of courage and determination. Please, at this time, direct your eyes to our screens.
(1867) actually is a very tumultuous year in Japan. The time where the shoguns rule on behalf of the emperor, that time was over. And that's what started what the Japanese call the Boshin War. It's basically a civil war. Almost exactly the same time that an American named Eugene Van Reed, who was in Yokohama. Actually, he was an American businessman, but he was working on behalf of the Kingdom of Hawaii, and he puts out a notice on behalf of the kingdom and the sugar plantation owners to recruit Japanese people to work in the plantations back in Hawaii.
My Ganemono ancestor is Sentaro Ishii, and he is my great-grandfather. And he came to Hawaii because he was trying to get away. He was a samurai.
I know that he left his sword somewhere along the way going to Yokohama, to where the ship is.
Their treatment was bad. They were treated very bad. They were beaten. They would basically work sun up to sundown, right? Sun up to sundown, no breaks. If they were sick, didn't matter, still had to work.
I am the descendant, Ganemono descendant of Tokujiro Sato. But he worked as a laborer on the plantation, and then he later was contracted to work for Samuel Parker of Parker Ranch.
Becomes their carpenter, their butcher, their cook, really becomes a part of their ohana. So I think that's pretty profound that he decided to make a life for him. This is our tutu, Kalala and Tutu Tokujiro. And you can tell we actually had a photographer help us look really good at this photo because she looks very Japanese. Very Japanese. You can tell by her hair and how she's dressed. And so he had said that back in the day, how we have editing for photos, you can tell that they did edit her photo. And they get married in Mana, which is in the Waimea area. They get married in Waimea, have some of their children there. Our great-great-grandmother, Ohomukini, is the firstborn of that union. After some of the children are born there, they then move to Waipio Valley, where Kalala is actually from, and they raise the rest of their children in Waipio Valley. He spoke fluent Hawaiian. He helped so many people because he could do that.
And he took his place in the community to share the language and the culture because he was not of this land, but yet he embraced it all. And he became a part of it 100%.
Why does Kalakaua want a meeting? Because he wants to express to the emperor his feelings for Japanese. And that's the Ganen Mono. The Ganen Mono for Kalakaua is a living testament. What he's saying to the emperor is that the Japanese are special. And Kalakaua's words are they chose to cast their lot together with the people of Hawaii. Because that unites not just Japanese and Hawaiians, that unites everyone to this day in terms of those who have chosen to work, stay, to have cast their lot together. That's all of us who love Hawaii.
So in late 2015, my sister and I finally accepted the responsibility or kuleana to take our place as kumuhula here in Kona. And we opened up our halau ka'ea i kahelelani.
I think it's profound and timely that this is happening now, especially where we are in our lives with celebrating the Ganen Mono this year in the 150th anniversary. And we'll be taking a piece of theatrical work with our students to Hiroshima in May, and then hopefully back here to Kona to share on our Hawaiʻi island the story of Toko and how he comes from Japan to Hawaiʻi island.
It's important to share the stories because we need to know our roots. We need to know where we come from, who we come from.
The appreciation and the gratitude we have for our ancestors and what they had to overcome and what they had to do to make the brave choices they had to make.
During this whole Ganimono celebration, that's what we're learning about the different families.
I have only 1/8 Japanese and 1/8 Hawaiian, but still, you know, I'm proud of that. A legacy that is with me.
And for my children and my grandchildren, I want them to be very proud of their heritage. Yeah.
We have now become that bridge, as my sister would say, to the past and actually moving forward to the future.
Wow. Okay, you think that's awesome. How about this? Okay, and as soon as I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Joining us this evening as our guests are a few descendants of the Ganen Mono immigrants. Lori Ann Santos, fifth generation descendant of Sentaro Ishii with her husband James. And Curtis Crabb with his wife Gail Lynn Crabb, Stuart Choi and Kawai Choi, all descendants of Ganen Mono immigrant Tokujiro Sato. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we hope you enjoyed the short film on the Ganen Mono, Hawaii's first Japanese immigrants by writer and director Ryan Kawamoto. Ryan? Awesome. And we also want to acknowledge Congresswoman Colleen Hanabusa for honoring the Ganen Mono for the 150th anniversary of their arrival with her eloquent remarks entered into the congressional record on Thursday, June 7th. As she stated, quote, "We must be an example for future generations to act wisely and honorably, informed by our own history as a country." Congresswoman Hanabusa, please stand so that we can thank you for making those remarks. Oh, there you. Thank you. Helping us to honor and to remember our past. Now, as you saw in the film, the Ganemono immigrants and the Issei immigrants that followed them faced incredible hardships and challenges, but they met those challenges one step at a time. The Broadway musical Allegiance illuminates one of American history's lesser-known chapters as it tells the story of Sam Kimura, transported back nearly 6 decades to when his younger self and his sister Kei fought to stay connected to their heritage, their family, and themselves after Japanese Americans were wrongfully imprisoned during World War II. An important story told with great resonance and intimacy, Allegiance explores the ties that bind us, the struggle to persevere, and the overwhelming power of forgiveness, and most especially, love. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. George Takei and Ms. Lauren Hanako Kincaid performing Ishi Kara Ishi from the hit Broadway musical Allegiance.
Heiko, always think of other. When you mommy die, you grow up so fast. Take care, Sammy, help with farm. Why? You no go to dance. Have fun. Do American boogie woogie.
That's for kids. No one wants to dance with an old maid.
You crazy. How you can be old maid when I still so young? Japanese say, Peppin-san
A pretty lady.
should not sit home with old man on Saturday night.
That is not a proverb.
No, but should be. Listen to Oji-chan. Keiko look at Page, Peppa very bad. Now I look at Keiko, see how Keiko very sad. But Peppa also change. I folded up this way.
A paper flower blossom.
Just like Kate.
But nothing blooms at Heart Mountain.
You want bet? $2 say. I make garden grow in hard ground.
You're on.
Ha. You're gonna lose. You know why?
Let me guess. Japanese ishi kara ishi.
Mountain can be moved stone by stone. Ishi kara ishi, yama wa ido dekiru. Yasashi ogawa wa tanima o horeru. Horeru.
All right, let's keep that applause going. One more round for George Takei and Lauren Hanako Kincaid. At this time, please welcome to the podium the Governor of the State of Hawaii, the Honorable David Ige.
Aloha. I'm really honored to be here at this year's Sharing the Spirit of Aloha Gala. I just wanted to take my hats off to Queen Christine Kubota and Carol Hayashino, the board of directors, staff, and donors, volunteers of the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii for putting together such an outstanding program. Thank you so much. You know, these last few weeks have been a whirlwind as we gathered to celebrate the 59th convention of the Association of Nikkei and Japanese Abroad, the 150th anniversary of the Ganemono, migrants to Hawaii, and the honor of having their Imperial Highnesses Prince and Princess Akashino join in our celebrations, their very first official visit to the United States. And I just wanted to let you know the Prince and Princesses truly experienced the hospitality of the people of Hawaii, and they had a terrific time. I just wanted to let you know they are thinking about how they can come back to Hawaii as regular people without being noticed. And I told them they probably wouldn't be able to do that. But I just wanted also to take my hats off to Christine Kubota, Sal Miwa, Tyler Tokioka, and the coordinating committee of the Ganemono celebration. I think everyone, you know, you saw a piece of the video here. The research done, the video was done so well. Everyone that I spoke to who attended that seminar or conference truly felt that every part of that program really extended the understanding and legacy of Ganemono, the first immigrants. And it was such an outstanding job. It will definitely be something that I think will be shared over and over and over again to make sure that the people of Hawaii, all people, not only Japanese American, truly have an understanding for the Ganemono, the first immigrants. So thank you so much. You know, tonight we have the honor and privilege of honoring members of our community who have worked so hard to be successful in their chosen fields, but haven't forgotten their responsibility as citizens of our community. Tonight's honorees represent what's good about Hawaii, and they inspire all of us to do better, to be part of a better community. As we continue to rebuild Hawaii Island, Kauai, and East Oahu, which have suffered terrible natural disasters, we are here in the Hawaiian Islands to really remember that we are creating a place for future generations to choose to call home. Let us be guided by our common values to preserve the legacy of our Nisei veterans, to inspire our children to reach for the stars, to ensure women have limitless opportunities, and to share the beauty and culture of the music of these islands, and most of all, to respect and celebrate our diversity. It really is an honor for me to be part of tonight's ceremony, to honor 3 organizations that have truly worked very hard to ensure the legacy of the greatest generation, the Nisei veterans. Go for Broke National Education Center, the Nisei Veterans Legacy, and the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center on Maui. 3 outstanding organizations that will never let us forget the legacy of our Nisei veterans. Also, congratulations to the Ellison Onizuka Memorial Committee for inspiring the next generation to reach for the stars. And 3 special individuals, Donna, Tanoue, for paving the way for women in business. For Jake Shimabukuro, my ukulele buddy, I just wanted to say that I know that he's been getting a lot of gigs, but he's never called me. So I'm not exactly certain what happened to the partnership. And obviously, George Takei for his part of bringing allegiance to Broadway and film. It truly is part of the legacy of Nisei veterans all across the country. So it really is an honor and privilege for me to be here tonight. I wanted to extend, on behalf of the people of Hawaii, my congratulations to all the honorees. And I wanted to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. Let us challenge ourselves to live and give aloha each and every day. Mahalo and aloha.
All right, thank you, Governor Ige. Now, the legacy of the Nisei veterans from the 100th Infantry Battalion, 442nd Regimental Combat Team, the Military Intelligence Service, and the 1399th Engineer Construction Battalion is an important American story to remember, to honor, and to share. And joining us in the audience this evening are Nisei veterans, Mr. Herb Yamamura, Mr. Jack Nakamura, and Mr. Lawrence Enomoto, right here on table number 3. Can you please stand and be recognized? Thank you, sirs, for everything that you've done for us. Tonight, we honor 3 organizations committed to preserving the stories, as the governor said, and the legacies of the Nisei soldier.
There were many sacrifices and many contributions made by the Americans of Japanese ancestry who served in the U.S. Armed Forces during World War II. The Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii would like to recognize organizations that honor the legacy of the Nisei veterans' courage and their fight for equality.
The Nisei Veterans Legacy was established officially in 2012. The founding members were primarily the descendants of the 100, the 442, MIS, and 1399. It was an attempt to bring together the 4 veteran clubs during a time of transition where the veterans were getting older and passing on the torch to their sons and daughters. We have several permanent exhibits currently. One is at the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. 3 million visitors a year pass by the exhibit. For me, the relevance is that I am the son of a 442 veteran. It is important for future generations to understand how the Nisei returned to Hawaii after the war and helped to change and shape the islands as we know it today.
The mission of the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center is to inspire people to find the hero in themselves through the legacy of the Nisei veterans. The Maui sons and daughters of the Nisei veterans and a group of veterans conceptualized the idea and really birthed the idea back in 1981. So the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center is home to our education center, as well as an extensive archives of over 200 special collections of Maui's Nisei soldiers. And on our campus upstairs, we are also home to the Maui Adult Daycare Center and Concha Preschool. So I think it's really one of Maui's only intergenerational centers. And while our name is Nisei Veterans Memorial Center and we definitely focus on our Nisei veterans, if you look at it, these are stories for all generations spanning all ethnicities and gender and ages. And now more than ever, we need to share these stories of these men and, again, their families and what they sacrificed for all of us.
Over the last 3 decades, the Go for Broke National Education Center has been involved in curriculum development, teacher training, traveling exhibitions in order to tell the story. Most recently, we've created our own permanent exhibit that's located in downtown Los Angeles in the Little Tokyo district. But through these different projects, through these different initiatives, these are different ways that we can reach out to people, tell the story, and demonstrate the relevance to today's issues. Courage and Compassion is a very compelling traveling exhibit that is traveling across the nation. At this point, it's scheduled to go to 10 different cities and to tell the story of World War II and what happened to our Japanese American community during that time. It opened earlier this year in Salem, Oregon. And of course, it then traveled to Honolulu. There is a portion of the exhibition that the local city gets to tell its local story, gets to tell what it did in particular to reach out and demonstrate courage and compassion with Japanese Americans or towards Japanese Americans. We look at the JCCH as a sister organization that does what we do, tell the story across the nation, across the world, to people who, one, already know the story and want to know more, but also to people who've never heard the story.
The Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii is very proud to honor the Nisei Veterans Legacy, Nisei Veterans Memorial Center, and the Go for Broke National Education Center for their work to preserve the history of the Nisei soldiers, to promote and perpetuate their legacy, and to share their stories for future generations. Their work is similar to what we try to do at the Japanese Cultural Center, which is to honor our heritage, remember those who came before us and those who made sacrifices so that we may thrive and survive.
On behalf of the Nisei Veterans Legacy Organization, it is with great pleasure that I accept this award. We are sincerely grateful to the JCCH for this recognition and great honor. This award is very meaningful to us, not only because it recognizes our work, but especially because it shows there is an awareness, increased awareness of our mission within the community. Mike Masuoka, who served as a staff sergeant in the 442, once said, "I'm proud that I'm an American of Japanese ancestry. I believe in this nation's institutions, ideals, and traditions. I glory in our heritage. I boast of our history. I trust in our future." And again, thank you very much for recognizing the Nisei Veterans Legacy.
It is such an honor to be recognized this evening by the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii and to be in the company of such amazing individuals who are doing and have done so much for our community. You know, back in 1952, the men of the 100th Battalion were at a meeting at their clubhouse, and they chose as their motto, continuing service. And I suspect that everybody in the room this evening has that same motto of continuing service to make sure that we're doing our best to give back to the community. So we at the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center want to make sure that we're doing our part to stand up to that motto of continuing service by giving back to our community. On behalf of the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center Board and our staff, we would like to say, "Domo arigatou gozaimashita. Korekara mo yoroshiku onegai itashimasu." Thank you very, very much. We are honored.
On behalf of the board, the staff, the volunteers, and the entire Go for Broke National Education Center community, we'd like to thank the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii for this prestigious award. This award recognizes the work that we do in preserving and keeping the legacy of our Nisei veterans of World War II. They fought for a place at the American table of citizenship. More importantly, they fought to preserve America's promise, the promise that in this nation, no one is to be judged by the color of their skin, the nation of their origin, or the God whom they choose to worship. Thank you, JCCH, for supporting us in the work that we do.
And now please welcome representatives from the Go for Broke National Education Center, representatives from the Nisei Veterans Legacy, and also from the Nisei Veterans Memorial Center. And now, in honor of these three organizations and the Nisei soldiers who left everlasting legacy and reshaped the social, political, and economic fabric of Hawaii, please welcome sharing the Spirit of Aloha award recipient, Mr. Jake Shimabukuro, performing his song, Go for Broke. Awesome. Thank you, Jake. Thank you. Thank you. I swear, every time that guy gets on stage, wherever it is, man, it's like, right? Mind blown. How does he do that? No, but that was extra special tonight and very moving. So thank you, Jake Shimabukuro. Again, that is to honor, again, the Go for Broke National Education Center, Nisei Veterans Legacy, and Nisei Veterans Memorial Center. So again, thank you to them as well. In the face of adversity, Issei and Nisei demonstrated an inner strength, a quiet endurance, and by doing so, taught us to maintain our dignity and honor and to persevere. We call that Japanese value gaman.
It will all be alright. There's a way through this night. Stay strong on this long road. We bury our pain. There's a word we will say to help get through each day. We will bear any nightmare with a simple refrain. Come on, come on, sturdy and sure, keep faith and endure. Come on, come on, hold your head high, carry on. Come on. Dearest mother on high, looking down, see how I am lost and exhausted, weak and ashamed. Little baby, don't cry, hear a sweet lullaby. Have I failed to protect you? Am I to blame? We know that there's no turning back. If we hold together, there's nothing we lack. And the people will know that wherever we go, together we'll ever remain. Come on, come on, sturdy and sure, keep faith and endure. We will carry on. Come on, dignity, pride, as we stand side by side, even when all hope seems gone. Come on, come on, come
Did we mention that tonight's gala was extra special? I think we did. Again, that was Miss Lauren Hanako Kincaid with a touching performance of Gaman from Allegiance. Thank you, Lauren. Every generation has the obligation to free men's minds for a look at new worlds, to look out from a higher plateau than the last generation. The words and legacy of Hawaii's first astronaut, Ellison Onizuka, continues to inspire generations of Hawaii's youth to aim higher and believe that each and every one of them has the ability to change the world. It is the mission of the Ellison Onizuka Memorial Committee to keep Ellison's legacy alive and to inspire future generations to shoot for the stars.
Ellison Onizuka from Kealakekua, Hawaii, was the first Asian American and the first person of Japanese ancestry to reach space.
And he always said that, coming from the coffee fields of Kona and going on to fly on the most sophisticated aircraft that this United States had to go to space was a great honor for him. When we came back for a visit, I said, you want to go play a round of golf? And he said, well, I can play golf anytime, but since the schools are open, I want to visit the schools. So that was the kind of commitment that he had, that, he wanted to share his dream with the children of Hawaii and the people of Hawaii.
Let me say that it's really a pleasure to be back. Looking forward to going to fly this one. I think we got some real interesting payloads. The mission is a great mission. We're looking forward to it. I think we're ready to go fly. Thanks for being out here today.
We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1.
On his second mission to space, the Space Shuttle Challenger suffered a catastrophic accident, which killed all 7 crew members, including Onizuka.
The committee was formed soon after the Challenger accident in 1986. A couple of community men came to my office weeks after, Fred Fujimoto and Bill Knudsen, and sat down and said, we really need to do something to recognize Ellison's presence in this community, his upbringing, and what he means to this community.
Fujimoto was instrumental in building the Onizuka Space Center in Kona, which was in operation for 25 years.
The mission of the Onizuka Memorial Committee is that we are committed to carry on the legacy of astronaut Ellison Onizuka and to share the knowledge and things that he wanted to share.
I grew up on the Big Island, and I was lucky enough to see the Onizuka exhibit back when it was the museum at the old Kona airport. And I guess just for me, growing up in the country on the Big Island, it was inspiring to realize that someone coming from that background could eventually become an astronaut through his hard work and discipline. You could reach a position that to us was something that you would only see on TV or in the movies. The Onizuka Committee has, I think, really aided the education of students in Hawaii via events such as the Science Day, or I think the Day of Exploration, which is held in conjunction with the Boy Scouts.
Fortunately, we have a good relationship with NASA, and we've been bringing down astronauts every year.
Yeah, to have the exhibit at JCCH, when I first heard about it, I was just so excited to hear that they were coming here. Because I think it's so important to bring those artifacts into a place where the public and where today's kids can see them.
And I think it's a real fitting place for many of his items to be displayed.
So now we can tell all of the people that, if you ever visit Oahu, please stop by the Japanese Cultural Center and see Ellison's exhibit there.
JCCH is honoring the Onizuka Memorial Committee because we feel that their work is extremely important in both preserving Mr. Onizuka's legacy, as well as reminding the kids today of the possibilities that tomorrow can hold, if they apply themselves and, continue to work hard.
And if we can put a spark in 1 or 2 children in Hawaii to become an astronaut or become a scientist, we feel that, we have opened the doors for them, and that they should aim for their goals and have dreams that do come true.
Ellison touched all of us in Hawaii. That is definitely for sure. Please join me now in congratulating and welcoming Ellison's brother, Mr. Claude Onizuka, to the stage.
Good evening. To Carol and the board members of Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii, on behalf of the Onizuka Memorial Committee and my family, I'd like to say thank you very much. It's been 32 years since the Challenger accident, and the committee was formed back in 1986, immediately after the Challenger accident. And it was formed by Mr. Fred Fujimoto, who felt that at that time I needed help with all the requests that was coming through for Allison. And he formed this committee of local business people in Kona. And 32 years later, we're still intact. And to be honest with you, this is the first ever recognition and award that the Onizuka Memorial Committee has received. And it's, but, you know, it's something that the committee itself and all the volunteers have not looked for any recognition or anything, but just doing the right thing and spreading the message that Allison tried to spread before he left us. And he felt that the younger generation were the people of the future, and he wanted to share his knowledge and experiences with the young generation and also the people of Hawaii. And he was very proud of being from the coffee fields of Kona and going on to fly on the space shuttle and being the first Asian American to fly in space and being the first astronaut from Hawaii. But most of all, he never forgot the people that helped him get to his position. He always came back and he always tried to look up people that helped him along the way, whether it was a school teacher, a scoutmaster, you know, but there was always this feeling of gratitude. So things happen with good attitude, with gratitude, hard work and determination, and his dreams came true. So, you know, when we closed the Space Center in Kona, we really felt lost, and people kept calling, and we weighed all of the requests that came in, offering us different things. But when Dwayne Kurisu, Dr. Dennis Ogawa, and Dr. Ron Reynolds approached me and said, you know, we should meet, and maybe we can do something with the Cultural Center. So I met with them, and on our second meeting, I met Carol, and you know, it was like a bright star that just appeared, and she took it from there, and you know, the Onizuka Memorial Committee felt very comfortable, and we felt that this is the place where Allison belonged, and we hope that that exhibit can stay there. We would duplicate things elsewhere if we have to, but the originals will stay at the Japanese Cultural Center. But thank you very much to everyone who had a hand in this recognition for us. But it's really a recognition for the board members, the founding person, Mr. Fred Fujimoto. He had the foresight to see what was going to happen. And when we pursued that Space Center in Kona initially, I myself had some doubts, but thanks to Governor George Ariyoshi and Governor Waihe, we got it done. And I remember when Fred Fujimoto told me that he had cancer, and you know, he was feeling down and out. And we went to a meeting with Governor Waihe, and it still didn't get off the ground yet. So when we left the meeting, they walked out, and I walked back into the meeting room, and I grabbed Governor Waihe, and I told him, I said, you know, we really got to make this happen. So he helped us get it off the ground, and thanks to Governor Ariyoshi and Governor Waihe, we got that center built, and it lasted for 25 years. But, you know, things changed, so we moved forward, and we have the airport now named after Ellison, the Ellison Onizuka Kona International Airport at Keauhole. Thanks to Governor Ige, we have beautiful signs up on the highway. So when you come to Kona, at least you'll be landing at the Ellison Onizuka Kona International Airport. And we hope to have more exhibits and spread the things around for the children. Because going through the Japanese Cultural Center, we start off with, to me, Kodomo no Tameni. And that's for the sake of the children. And that's the future. And the other thing is, Okage-sama de. I am what I am because of you. And that was Ellison. Never forgetting who helped him get to become an astronaut. And the last thing was Gambare. Never give up, persevere, never give up. So with those words and all of the things that have happened, and all of the glory for my board members who are here. I have 6 other board members here. Can you please rise, board members? So, again, on behalf of my family and the Onizuka Memorial Committee, thank you very much.
Thank you, Claude Onizuka and the Onizuka Memorial Committee. I think we were all shocked to hear that was the first award and recognition that the committee got, but obviously well-deserved, so congratulations and thank you for everything that you guys do, all of you. Growing up from humble beginnings, Donna Tanoue does not forget where she came from. As president of the Bank of Hawaii Foundation, she raised millions of dollars for local nonprofits and was instrumental in the formation of several of Bank of Hawaii's signature community activities. On top of her many accomplishments, she also served as chairwoman of the FDIC and has inspired women everywhere to set their high goals.
Well, I grew up in Kaimuki and attended all public schools. You know, in those days, a lot of kids worked at the cannery, and I worked at Dole Cannery, and it was a great opportunity to earn $1.60, an hour, make good money, work long hours, but then I think to appreciate the value of hard work.
I would describe Donna Tanoue as a trailblazer, coming from humble beginnings to her incredible list of achievements, including president of the Bank of Hawaii Foundation and chairman of the FDIC. She has paved a way and inspired all women to set their goals high.
I was delighted to recommend her to Governor Ariyoshi to become Commissioner of Financial Institutions in Hawaii, a position which I believe helped prepare her for the chairmanship of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
When Donna first became chairman of the FDIC, and she invited me to join her, which was a privilege, I went to our first senior staff meeting, and it was interesting because we looked around the table and all around us, there were no minorities, no women, except for Donna and me. And so we thought, this is not what America looks like. Donna thought, we should be proactive about developing a program, building the bench of qualified women and people of color who could take on the slots, the positions, who could move up within the organization. She was brave every day. There were tough decisions every day that dealt with the financial community.
Donna Tanoue is here. She's the chairman of the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. They are the agency that insures your money in the bank. You're not worried?
Absolutely not. You know the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval?
Yeah.
Well, this is the FDIC's seal. This is our promise to you that your money's safe and insured now and in the year 2000.
There were tough decisions that she had to deal with within the FDIC and our whole diversity plan. By the time we left the FDIC, there were more women and minorities at the table than when we started, by far.
She has served our nation and our state in positions of high authority. She has contributed unstintingly to our community, and she does exemplify the kindness, the generosity, and the inclusiveness of the Aloha spirit.
She went beyond, far beyond Hawaii, and far beyond the culture in Washington, D.C., and she made a change. I come back to the fact that this one woman made a difference in the lives of so many.
On behalf of the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii, I'd like to congratulate Donna Tanoue for her lifelong commitment to the community and for sharing the spirit of aloha throughout the Japanese American community, the state, and beyond.
And you know, we always hear that expression, okage-sama day. That's very, very true in my case. A lot of people helped me.
I only wish Donna's parents, Dr. and Mrs. Roy Tanoue, were here to witness this recognition, as Donna's character most definitely was shaped by their values of discipline, integrity, courtesy, and honor.
My parents have both passed away now. I'm so appreciative of what they did. I mean, you know, like many, they wanted us to have good education. So grateful for that. You know, this year we celebrate the 150th anniversary of the Ganemono coming to Hawaii, and it's such a huge issue in our country today. I think that we have to think about the lessons of the immigrants and what it means to our country, what it means to our, you know, our beloved Hawaii. And to think about the lessons that our ancestors, immigrants from the past, what lessons they left for us and what we can do in our own lives going forward.
Please welcome Miss Donna Tanoue.
OMG, I've never seen that video before. Thank you everyone for turning out tonight to celebrate and to support the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii and to recognize all of the honorees. You know, I know this is a tremendous honor, and I thank you all for the recognition. Tonight we celebrate 150 years of Japanese in Hawaii. And tomorrow, we have another celebration of Father's Day. You know, these two events remind me of an omikuji that my daughter Maya has pinned on her bedroom wall. And the fortune says, wind blows hard, the waves are high, yet calm is our harbor. You owe what you are to your ancestors. Remember this and be kind to others. Tomorrow, I will join with my siblings, and we will remember our father, Roy Toshiro Tanoue. And in doing so, we'll remember his mother, Nobu, who came from Yamaguchi-ken in the early 1900s. Growing up, my dad had a dream, and that dream was to become a doctor. And you have to remember that in those days, there weren't too many AJA physicians. After graduating from McKinley and the University of Hawaii, my dad wanted to go to medical school. But his father thought his son had already had plenty enough schooling. It was his mother, Nobu, who understood the dream And it was her earnings from her little Simon wagon in Kaimuki at the corner of 10th and Waialae Avenues that helped my dad to attend the University of Chicago Medical School. In 1940, he became the first board-certified general surgeon of Japanese ancestry in Hawai'i. Thank you. Good thing my dad's not here. He would be very upset to hear this story. When my dad returned to Hawaii, though, after medical school, life wasn't easy. You see, he had contracted tuberculosis when he was a medical resident in Chicago, and he had to interrupt his training for 2 years to take what they called the cure in upstate New York in Saranac Lake. TB treatment in the 1950s wasn't very good. And over the first 10 years after my dad returned to Honolulu, his TB relapsed 3 times, each requiring up to a year of hospitalization at Leahi Hospital, which at that time was a TB sanatorium. The third hospitalization required major surgery to his lung, and that finally resulted in the cure. You know, all the days of his life, my father never forgot his mother and what she had done to enable the dream. The story of my dad and his mother isn't unique, that we know. It's the story of the character and motivation of countless young people here, of their respective generations, who believed that education would help improve their lives and their communities. And they have the determination, the motivation, and the fortitude to pursue their dreams. As we honor the Ganen Mono and successive generations, let's think about one of the major issues that our country faces today, and that is immigration. There's a lot of ugly, un-American, anti-immigration rhetoric today, and hopefully that's just for the moment. Yesterday or today, immigrants come for economic opportunity and sometimes for political freedom. It's tough at the start. Some go home. But the next and the next generations of these new Americans, these new islanders, are massive contributors to our state and our country. Just think about it. Where would we be without them? The Ganen Mono and successive generations of Japanese in Hawaii have given us a living lesson of resiliency and all that is good and possible in Hawaii and our country. So let's remember the omikuji, just a very good fortune. Let's remember our ancestors. Let's follow their example. And let's try to be the people that they hoped and trusted we could be. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Donna Tanoue. Our next guest was just over here playing a little while ago, and I saw him. He was about to unplug his ukulele, and he kind of looked to the back. He's like, "Are we done? Are we good?" And I could hear everybody kind of like in the voice in their head going, "No, keep playing," right? But now we're gonna have him come back up. Yo-Yo Ma, Bette Midler, and Ziggy Marley. That is just a small handful of names that Jake Shimabukuro has collaborated with in his amazing musical career. Jake has topped the Billboard's World Music Chart numerous times and made national TV appearances on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Good Morning America, and The Today Show, to name just a few. On top of his many accolades, Jake Shimabukuro remains committed to his community and frequently performs at schools in Hawaii and overseas to urge children to find their passion.
Started playing the ukulele when I was 4 years old, and my mom was my first teacher. She kind of got me into it. Just would sit down with me, teach me a few chords, and I just fell in love with it. Yeah, playing the ukulele and just music in general really helped me to connect with my emotions. And you know, when you're growing up, like any family, you know, we had some down times and our own obstacles, especially like when my parents went through their divorce. But the ukulele really helped me to kind of just embrace all those complex emotions that confused me and that I was dealing with. As a kid, you just want to play everything fast, right? Everything's all about like... You know, you just want to play everything fast, you want everything to be exciting.
Shimabukuro initially gained attention in Hawaiʻi in 1998 as a member of the group Pure Heart.
I started performing at places like the Willows or Chai's Island Bistro, and as a soloist, started building up a repertoire, and I thought, oh, this is kind of fun.
In 2006, a viral YouTube video of Jake playing While My Guitar Gently Weeps launched his international career.
And that's what kind of opened up a touring career for me. So I started playing outside of Japan and Hawaii, because I started touring the mainland a lot more, different countries, going to places like Australia and Europe.
But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one.
After the show, we all got to meet the Queen. You know, we got to meet Queen Elizabeth.
I just look at him and I see, wow, that's big. You know, just watching him play.
Shimabukuro continues to write and record while maintaining a mind-boggling international concert schedule of some 140 live performances a year.
He's good at what he does, but he never, ever, you know, brags about it. He's such a good kid, you know.
I love going to schools, working with kids, and because I feel it kind of, it's important to just share with them, you know, just a little message, just something. You know, the music helps to grab their attention, right, and keep them engaged. But then if you can share an important message with them, instill some valuable lesson within it, I think that's so important.
This year, our theme, like with many other Japanese American organizations, is Ganemono. And we wanted to depict different types of Japanese Americans at the gala. He captures many of the values of the Japanese. Because there are so many, I think the one word that describes that is integrity. I mean, it's just the focus of everything put together. He's just a pulled together kind of guy. I think he's a wonderful musician. I think he's a wonderful father. I've seen him with his sons, and you know, I think it's wonderful that he's going to be able to share that with his family and his children.
I tell you, he's one remarkable person.
You know, I've always believed that you know, we talk about sacrifices and what the first, second, and even the third generation, you know, all the things that they sacrifice, right, for the following generation. I think when you get past the third generation, sometimes we forget that we also need to make these sacrifices for the next generation. So I think it's important that we always keep that in our mind. You know, we have to make the sacrifices so that the next generation can have a better life than what we have today.
And here he is, Jake Shimabukuro.
First of all, I want to thank Carol and Christine and the board for just this tremendous honor and for recognizing my family at this year's Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii, sharing the Spirit of Aloha Gala. And it's not just any year. This is the 150th anniversary of the Ganen Mono. And when I say we, I mean my family and I were just so humbled and grateful, for this opportunity to be here and to be recognized. In Japanese, they have a saying, it's boku wa mara mara aoi desu. And that's truly how I feel, I'm still green and I have much to learn. But I'd like to acknowledge my beautiful and brilliant wife, Kelly. She inspires me daily to be a better man, husband, and father. We have 2 little boys, Chase and Cole, and they're here tonight, unless security escorted them out. My mom and dad are here, Carol and Derek Shimabukuro. My younger brother, Bruce. I'd also like to recognize my father-in-law and mother-in-law who flew out from the Big Island to be here, so they're sitting at the Hilo table. Karen and Myron, thank you very much. They get one guy from Kaimaki over there, I don't know. My Uncle Paul Jr., he's working in the back over there. My Auntie Allison, Uncle Derek, Auntie Shirley Ann, Yukari Takei, Auntie Elo and Uncle Arnold, who was up here last year, who stood at this podium giving his speech. My best friend Jeff Lau is here. I didn't give him a ticket, but somehow he still made it. So these are just a handful of individuals who made me who I am today. Okage-sama de, I am what I am because of you. My mom had a hard life, but she would always tell me that my grandmother had an even harder life. Being a 5th-generation Japanese American, it's impossible to imagine the sacrifices that were made and what the Ganen Mono endured 150 years ago. When I was in high school, I learned a Japanese phrase, makete katsu, lose to win. I soon realized everything I have in my life is the result of someone else's sacrifice. Someone had to lose so I could win. The Nisei veterans who paved the way and became known as the 100th Battalion, the 442, understood this better than anyone. I have a much better life living in this country today because of the sacrifices that they made. That was go for broke. You lose for someone else's win. In music, the most important thing is feeling, emotion. If you can't express emotion in each note, then you're not making music. You're just making sound. Music is simply the language of human emotion. We are not thinking machines that feel, rather we are feeling machines that think. And every memory encoded and stored in the brain with emotional content, every memory that we have is encoded and stored in the brain with emotional content. And the memories recalled first are those with the strongest emotional content. And these emotional associations help to improve our ability to make decisions. Like when I tell my son, don't play with the kitchen cabinet drawer, and then he gets his finger stuck in there and starts crying, then he never goes near the drawer again. So the purpose of memory is not only to remember the past, but to better predict the future. And that is the key to why we are here today and why we are who we are today. The struggle and hardship that the older generation endured helped them to make decisions to improve life for the next generation. And the cycle continues. But what happens when the future generations have everything they could ever want and have a good life? Where are the significant emotional struggles and hardships to help shape them and improve the world for the next generation? By the way, if you haven't been to the Japanese Cultural Center in a while, you should please check out their new exhibit, Okage Samade. It's really worth checking out. And their gift shop. I purchased this back scratcher in the JCCH gift shop. And it sums up 3 things for me that I hope will inspire the youth. Number 1, be humble. When you look at the 5 fingers of the back scratcher, they are curved forward as if they are bowing their heads. So be humble. Discard any feelings of entitlement. We must work hard and serve for the betterment of future generations. Number 2, be grateful. On those times when your back is really itchy and you can't reach that tiny spot and no one's around to help you, you know that feeling of appreciation you get when you see that back scratcher and you can just go to town. So be grateful and always remember you didn't make it this far on your own. There are many people who paved the way and made sacrifices so that you could have the opportunities that led to every success in your life. And number 3, be kind. When you hold the back scratcher out in front of you, it looks like a hand with the palms up, like you are giving omiyage to someone. Be kind and give back. Be generous in sharing. Make a sacrifice to give someone an opportunity to be grateful. Because true happiness is only found in gratitude. So in closing, I just want to say, my grandmother was supposed to be here tonight, but she passed away 2 weeks ago. At home on Molokai while watching her favorite Japanese programs on TV. And as I said before, she had a hard life, but she did whatever she could in the best way that she knew how for the survival of her children, as my parents did for my brother and I, with the hope that we'd someday have a better life than they had. And I truly believe that my grandmother went peacefully knowing that her struggles were worth it. And we did not bring shame to the family name yet. But sharing the spirit of aloha is living life with the realization that we owe a great debt to all who came before us. And we must continue to honor the same principles and traditions so that the future generation can have a better life than what we once had. Thank you very much. I wanted to compose an original piece for tonight. So I guess this is we can call it the world premiere. But this is a piece entitled Ganen Mono. For you, I want a better life. I got my t-shirt. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There we go again. Jake, you're the man. Jake Shimabukuro. Very, 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 very cool. And now we have our last honoree this evening. Known internationally for his role as Hikaru Sulu in the acclaimed television series Star Trek, and with an acting career spanning 6 decades, George Takei has become a powerful voice on issues ranging from politics to pop culture. Takei has become a voice of the LGBTQ rights and an advocate for preserving the stories of the wrongful imprisonment of Japanese Americans during World War II. Takei made his Broadway debut in the musical Allegiance, inspired by his true life experience. Takei was appointed to the Japan-U.S. Friendship Commission by former President Clinton, and the government of Japan awarded Takei the Order of the Rising Sun for his contribution to U.S.-Japanese relations.
With an acting career spanning 6 decades, George Takei is known around the world for his founding role on the original Star Trek. However, his life started out far from the bright lights of Hollywood.
Well, I was a child then. At the time of the bombing of Pearl Harbor, I was 4 years old, and I remember seeing soldiers marching up our driveway with rifles, and my father came out to answer the door, and literally at gunpoint, we were ordered out of our home. Well, the first place we were taken to was to Santa Anita Racetrack, and we were assigned a horse stall to live in. The stench of horse manure was still pungent. We were put on trains and transported 2/3 of the way across the country to the swampland of Arkansas. I remember the barbed wire fence that confined us, the tall sentry towers with the machine guns pointed at us. It was a prison camp. But as a child, as long as you have parents who love you with you, we adjusted. And in 1965, my agent called. He had an audition for me. It was for a potential TV series, a pilot film, a science fiction series, and the Starship Enterprise, this futuristic starship, was to be a metaphor for Starship Earth, and the diversity of this starship was its strength. People of different races, different backgrounds, different histories, all coming together and working in concert as a team. It was a thrilling idea, and I was to represent Asia. I desperately wanted it. And as an example of Gene Roddenberry's intelligence and good taste and high standards, he cast me.
George is an icon in the Japanese American community. Everybody knows him, even if they're not Star Trek fans. He's a role model and an inspiration. He's not just a celebrity, too. He uses his fame and his huge social media platform to educate his fans about issues that are important to him.
He's now had a second recoming or career as really the social media icon of the United States, right? I mean, he has this Facebook page with almost 10 million followers, and people are just tied into it and really, really fascinated by the things that he posts.
My fellow Americans, there are many who
Recently, Takei starred in the Los Angeles premiere of the Broadway musical Allegiance. Takei made his Broadway debut in the musical, inspired by his true life experiences.
All people of Japanese ancestry have until Friday to evacuate the West Coast.
The broad characterization of an entire race of people based on the actions of a few is dangerous to democracies.
It's an American violation, and all Americans should know this history. And we didn't want the story to fade away with time.
It became almost like a symbiosis between him and the show. The show exists because of him, and the show has been able to grow and reach people because of him. But the show is also George's life mission.
When he takes on a project that he believes in, such as Allegiance, such as making sure America doesn't forget the lessons of World War II Japanese-American internment, he's passionate about it.
JCCH is honoring George Takei for his amazing career accomplishments and his lifelong dedication to the cause of social justice and equal rights. George, even though he's not from Hawaii, exemplifies the spirit of aloha, which is the theme of this gala tonight.
You know, resilience and fortitude isn't all teeth-gritting, bullet-biting strength. It's also to be able to, under harsh conditions, to find beauty and to find joy and to find love. That is what resilience is all about. Not giving up as human beings.
How about a warm aloha right now for Mr. George Takei?
Oh my. What an evening, an extraordinary evening. To be placed amongst these extraordinarily accomplished people. We just heard Jake's wonderful original composition. And Donna Tanoue, extraordinary woman, the top financial person in the country. These are extraordinary people, and they are both from Hawaii. I am what you folks call a kotonk. I'm a Californian, and so this makes it so unique. But even more unique, this recognition is being granted to me during this commemoration of the 150th anniversary of the arrival of the Gannemono, the first immigrants from Japan to Hawaii. Their story alone is an extraordinary one. Young men and women who looked at the vastness of the Pacific Ocean and saw beyond the horizon opportunities to make their life better, mindful of the fact that there were strong challenges ahead of them. Their dream was to go to another country, a different country with different languages, different customs, different society. And so they knew it would be hard, but they had the spirit of pioneering to boldly go where they hadn't gone before. And they did go, and they did meet challenges, hard, harsh challenges. But they worked hard, and they were determined, and they built the foundation for the next generation, the Nisei generation. And they built that foundation to make life better for their Nisei children. But the Nisei generation had even greater challenges. On December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor was bombed by Japan, and overnight, Japanese Americans were looked at with suspicion and fear and outright hatred simply because of our ancestry. And here in Hawaii, leaders of the community were summarily rounded up. Japanese language school officials, business leaders, Buddhist ministers, people that taught Japanese martial arts, judo, kendo, etc., were rounded up and confined behind American barbed wire fences. On the mainland, it was even more sweeping. About 120,000 Japanese Americans on the West Coast were summarily rounded up with no due process, no charges, no trial, and incarcerated in 10 of the most desolate places in the United States. Yet, despite that kind of outrage, a year into imprisonment, a year after being totally impoverished, the government decided to draft out of the internment camps. Here in Hawaii, volunteers joined the military and were put into a segregated all-Japanese American unit, the 442nd Regimental Combat Team and the 100th. On the mainland, they were drafted out of behind barbed wire camps after signing a loyalty questionnaire, a very offensive loyalty questionnaire. Question 28 asked, and it was one sentence with two conflicting ideas. Will you swear your loyalty to the United States of America and forswear your loyalty to the Emperor of Japan? They expected a yes vote. If you answered, well, first of all, they assumed that we had an inborn racial loyalty to the emperor. If you answered no, meaning no, I don't have a loyalty to the emperor to forswear, That no applied to the first part of the very same sentence. Will you swear your loyalty to the United States? If you answered yes, meaning I do swear my loyalty to the United States, then you were confessing that you had been loyal to the Emperor of Japan. It was a no-win question, and they bit that bullet, swallowed that bitter taste, and answered that question with a yes, and went to serve in the United States military. They were put into the 442nd, the Go for Broke Regiment. They were sent to the battlefields of Europe and sent out on the most dangerous missions. And they fought with incredible courage and valor. Firefights that went on for days. Wave after wave of Japanese Americans fought in those battles, and they sustained the highest combat casualty rate of any unit in the Second World War. And when the war ended, they came back the single most decorated unit of the entire war. They were heroes, welcomed back to the United States on the White House lawn by President Harry Truman. But there were other kinds of heroes as well. Those who stood on principle, American principles, and said they will resist this injustice. They will fight for the true American values. And for that principled, courageous American position, they were tried for draft evasion, found guilty, and transferred to Leavenworth Federal Penitentiary. Their battlefield was very different from those of the 442nd. It was behind tall concrete penitentiary walls. But on those battlefields, they stood strong as patriotic Americans with allegiance to the values of America, the true principles of this United States. And I consider them just as heroic as those that fought on the battlefields of Europe. We have heroes that came from out of the Second World War, and they exhibited the same kind of bold venturesomeness of the Gannen Mono. And their valor, their heroism opened new doors. And so that generation of Japanese Americans entered those doors and did some new pioneering. The first two Japanese American U.S. senators came from Hawaii, Spark Matsunaga, a veteran of the 442nd, and Dan Inoue, who was to become a legend in American history, having served as one of the longest-serving United States senator. They were heroes. Another son of Hawaii, Ellison Onizuka, who has been recognized tonight, reached for a higher star out into the galaxies. And having made that commitment and become the first Japanese American astronaut, and he was the real thing. I was a fictional one. I soared through the galaxies, but only on your television screens. He did it for real, and he faced all the risks, the challenges of reality, and we know what happened to the Challenger. His was a great sacrifice, but it's this spirit of sacrifice and looking for bold opportunities, facing hardship, and making sacrifices that personify the spirit of the Gannen Mono. We are all the heirs of that spirit. In the largest sense, all of us are heirs of that spirit of the Gannen Mono. And it is for me a very humbling and gratifying honor to accept this recognition tonight. So to the Japanese Community Center of Hawaii, thank you very much. I am in your debt. Thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations, George. Now, the stories of the Nisei veterans, the life of Ellison Onizuka, the work of Donna Tanoue, Jake Shimabukuro, and George Takei build upon the legacy of the Ganemono and the Issei immigrants and will help future generations to, quote, look out from a higher plateau. Please welcome back to the stage Ms. Lauren Hanako Kincaid.
A little girl playing on a swing set, one her grandpa built by the sycamore tree in the lovely gate. And while her mama pinned the laundry, the little girl would cry out loud, push me higher, push me higher, push me, I can't wait. Her mama would push a couple times, but there was laundry still to do. So she learned to use her own strength, pull her own way, push on through. To swing higher, higher than before. Higher, but scared to reach for something more. Higher, higher toward the sky. Until the day she bent to kiss her mama a last goodbye. There once was a little boy who loved that swing set. He had a licorice twist from the store in town and two knobby skin-up knees. And while his sister pinned the laundry, the little boy would cry out loud, push me higher, push me higher, push me, pretty please. The girl would push a couple times, but there was laundry still to do. Then she watched amazed as suddenly he pulled his own way through. To swing higher, higher than she dared. Higher, he flew so high he wasn't scared. Higher, he could touch the sky. Right then she knew that he would also one day tell her goodbye. That little boy, he seemed so sure. Was it something never taught to her? How the years passed quickly by. The girl's a woman still afraid to try. Is it too late to start again? Get back that feeling I had then. But now my life is upside down. There's no more farm, there's no more town, and no use asking why. But I won't let it pass me by. And life won't pass me by. Help fly. Get back on that swing. Higher, soaring higher up than anything. Higher, I want something more. I dreamed I'd reach for greater things. My eyes upon those golden rings. I'll take what chance the future brings. And
Yeah! Lauren, by the way, flew in from LA for this event, and she has been spectacular tonight. For one more round of applause, please, for Lauren Hanako Kincaid. Very, very cool. For a final bow right now, we'd like to welcome to the stage Governor David Ige, Consul General Koichi Ito, Lieutenant Governor Doug Chin, Senator Brian Schatz, and our 2018 Spirit of Aloha honorees. Congratulations again to our 2018 honorees. One more round of applause, please. And right now, with our closing remarks on behalf of JCCH, please welcome President and Executive Director, Carol Hayashino. Carol.
Thank you. Can we please join me in acknowledging our MC for the evening, Steve Uehara? And what an evening it's been. It's been an evening of aloha, an evening of kancha filled with very deep gratitude and appreciation, and I hope inspiration. Thank you to our Gala Shogun sponsors for your generous contributions and support, and a very heartfelt mahalo to the Gala Daimyo Bushi sponsors and all of you who are in attendance this evening. We could not accomplish all that we do without the collective support of our friends, donors, boards, staff, and volunteers. So my sincere appreciation and aloha to each of you. This marks an end of an era for JCCH. It's the end of the Kubota era, as Christine steps down from the JCCH Board of Directors. Christine, I want to thank you for your energy, passion, and compassion during your term on the board. We're going to miss you. In the next month, we start a new era with Ken Hayashida stepping in as the 2018 and 2020 JCCH Board Chairman. Ken, if you can just stand and take a bow. He is the man, and I promise you all that the next year will be a year of changes, challenges, and opportunities for the Japanese Cultural Center, and I look forward to your continued guidance and support. I want to offer my congratulations to the 2018 honorees, organizations that we've had a privilege to partner with in recent years, the Nisei Veterans Legacy, Nisei Veterans Memorial Center, Go for Broke National Education Center, and the LSN Onizuka Memorial Committee. On behalf of the JCCH, I pledge our support for continuing our work together to preserve, perpetuate, and celebrate our history. And whether in business, public service, music, on the stage, or the big screen, Donna Tanoue, Jake Shimabukuro, George Takei are making a mark. They are paving the way for future businesswomen, community leaders, social activists, musicians, and performing arts. And it's because of their work, future generations will be inspired to dream bigger and swing higher than ever before. Last year, I shared Ellison's message to the generations, and it seems appropriate to share it again this year upon the 150th anniversary of the ganemono, the first immigrants from Japan to Hawaii. Ellison once said, "Let it be that the people who make this world run, whose lives can be termed successful, whose names will go down in the history books, are not the cynics, the critics, or the armchair quarterbacks. They are the adventurers, the explorers, and the doers of this world. When they see a wrong or problem, they do something about it. When they see a vacant place in our knowledge, they work to fill that void. Rather than leaning back and criticizing how things are, they work to make things the way they should be. They are the aggressive, the self-starters, the innovative, and the imaginative of this world. Make your life count, and the world will be a better place because you tried." Donna, Jake, George, you are the adventurers, the explorers, and the doers of this world. You have made and are making this world a better place, and for this reason, we honor you tonight. And for the rest of us, let's get back up on that swing. Let's commit to working together in the spirit of aloha to make this world a better place for future generations. Inspired by the words of Ellison Onizuka, inspired by the courage of the Nisei vets and the ganemono immigrants, let us honor our heritage, embrace the diversity of our community, and celebrate our future together. Thank you for supporting the Japanese Cultural Center of Hawaii tonight, and may you all live long and prosper.